Okay, so now we're going to go over gesture drawing. So what do I mean by gesture drawing? What we want to do is we want to capture the feeling of this gesture in as few marks as possible. So let's see, this is the layer I want. Let's put that up here. What we would do, and I'll just go, let's to start off with, let's just draw over the top, is we want to simplify this even more than what we have been. We don't want shapes, we want marks and lines. For example, the body, do something like this, and then same for the legs, like this for the arm. Okay, this is the kind of thing that we're looking for. Now if I separate this over to the side, now you can see I've got that gesture down there nicely. Okay, so it would be the same thing for this next one here. We have our head. Okay, let's see, so what we really want from here is probably something like this. Which doesn't look too impressive at the minute, but it gets that, the gesture, the pose, the quick feeling and the energy of it, which is what we want. Let's try this one here. Now you can see that I already have the same kind of feel to this pose as I do to this one. The important thing with gesture drawing is really capturing the feeling and the energy of it. Now from here, what I would do is, we call it scribbling. So we want to mix gesture drawing with scribbling. So scribbling would be, if I've got this pose here, I'm not doing any forms, I'm still doing the gesture, but I'm just scribbling it out. Now you'll see why this is important in a minute. I'll just finish these up for you so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so if I move these over a bit, you can see that although we don't have any of the forms, we still capture the essence of the pose. Okay, and this is very important. This is exactly what we're looking for, because we need to get our ideas down as fast as possible with as much energy as possible, because when we're drawing figures for illustration, they're generally not going to be standing there, and when they are just standing still, you can see here it's not a boring pose, it's dynamic. And although essentially this guy is literally just standing with his hands on his hips, which shouldn't be that interesting, you can create interesting shapes from the pose, which is what we want, of course, because we want people to look at our art and, you know, we want to portray a feeling for a specific situation. So gesture drawing is about capturing the essence of the pose in as few lines as possible. And what we want to do with that is we want to combine that with scribbling. And what we essentially get is gesture drawing, not in the traditional sense of using a few lines, but in a more complete sense. Because what we would do, and I'll just merge these layers down a bit, is we would then build up from here. So what I would be doing here is I'd be coming in, maybe knock it back with my eraser so it's a bit lighter. Then I'd be coming in and I'd be building these shapes up. And you can see what I'll do is I'll just move this guy over here. You can see what we're doing, we're building the shapes up, okay? And once we've got those shapes up, we then knock it back and flesh it out to the finished anatomy. But instead of starting with this one, which if we do start with that one, it's okay, but sometimes it can be a little bit stagnant, a little bit stale, or rigid. So if we start with our either gesture drawing or our scribble, just to capture that gesture that we want, then we can go in and tighten this up. So what I'll do is let's go down to this bottom one, and I'll just tighten it up a bit more. And again, at this point, I'm still being pretty loose. want our hand over here. And you can see this is how we would flesh it out, like that. Okay. What I prefer to do is skip this traditional gesture drawing pose, or phase I should say, and just go straight to the scribble, because what I'm doing is I'm still capturing the gesture. Why did I show this one if I don't use it? I just needed you to see that it's possible to capture a gesture in a small amount of lines. Okay, because although I'm doing a lot more lines with my scribble, what I'm focusing on is that gesture. Okay, I'm not focusing on the shapes. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, get my rib cage in here and my pelvis in here and then come in and, you know, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm focusing on is just getting that nice clean gesture out of it. I'm not worrying about whether the proportions are correct. Okay, I'm not worrying about whether, you know, everything's lined up. It's just that energy that I'm looking for. Okay? So, what we'll do from now on is we're going to go through and we're going to do some finished drawings, starting from the very start, going all the way through. You'll see the whole process. And we'll start with this scribbling gesture phase, build up our basic shapes here, going at our anatomy, and then finish it out to a nice finished piece. And we'll do that with a few different poses so that you can see the whole process. Alright, I'll see you in the next lesson.